So the course is basically about the principles of sustainable design related to buildings but also to communities. So the core elements will be to learn about contents with regard to the energy-related performance of buildings, how we design buildings in general, how we conceptualize buildings, and how we execute buildings so that they're using much less energy than buildings are using today. The main objectives of this course are to teach the principles of sustainable design to an extent so that a beginner could understand how to approach building in general, how to design those buildings, and how to execute those buildings so that the ultimate goal to reduce the energy consumption in building is clearly understood and can be practiced on an everyday basis. I think everybody should attend this course who is interested in building in general. So it could be architects and planners or engineers, it could be developers, it could be stakeholders in the field of building, it could be politicians for instance, it could be investors. Basically everybody who would like to change the built environment to the better and to understand how it could be done. So first of all, we will talk about the challenges we are facing in the building business today with regard to energy consumption, CO2 emissions. The second part will be looking at principles to create comfort in buildings, which is basically the core of things. How do we design buildings in such a way that they're productive environments for our living, productive environments for our work, and that we understand how buildings should be working. The third main core will be to understand how buildings should perform and how we're designing buildings in such a way that they're performing much better than the buildings we built today or we have built yesterday. That's the third part. The fourth part is actually learning about the site, how we site the buildings, how we orient the buildings, how we create floor area to wall to glazing area ratios in such a way that we are intrinsically creating energy saving buildings, executing those buildings, what we have to regard well with regard not only to obtain a building permit but also to execute those buildings in such a way that they perform accordingly.